Alrighty, we're live. Welcome to the Buffoons EP2. My name's Jake, joined here with Troy, Big Al, and we're here to talk about everything from sports to real life to life advice, you name it. We're just here to give our takes and give our thoughts. So we'll kind of jump right in. I know we want to talk about the World Baseball Classic that's going on. Today is March 15th, so we're down to our semifinals.
They got nuked, baby.
They were the prior winners and got eliminated already. So we're down to 4 teams left here, and I'll toss over to Al since he's got some opinions already that he wants to share, some hot takes.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed because I did want to see a Japan USA championship again. But dude, this Dominican team is scary, bro. They are scary. And they are having so much fun. Dude, I don't know if you saw, they took the average home run trot, or they took the home run trots from the Dominican team and then to the Venezuelan team. And I think the longest home run trot for Venezuela was like 11 seconds. And the longest one for the Dominican was like 39 seconds, dude. These dudes are like dancing. These dudes are like dancing around the bases after they hit a home run. They're dancing, they're cheering, they're having a good time. I think arguably the World Baseball Classic is the biggest baseball event right now. Like, other than the World Series, this is the best thing I've seen for baseball in a long time, and I think it's just going to continue.
I agree. I mean, we talked about it last week, right? 3 straight years in a row, baseball has increased in popularity, and I think the World Baseball Classic is just going to help it continue to grow in popularity. And I agree. This Dominican team is scary. I mean, people are talking about Albert Pujols being a manager already in the MLB, which, I mean, you see the job he's doing here in the World Baseball Classic. It's hard to disagree with that. I could easily
Dude,
see
I don't know if you saw my
year.
text. I don't know if you saw my text. They have Pujols, Andy Ramirez, and Pedro Martinez in the dugout.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, they just had the leadership in there is insane. I mean, but yeah, between that and the players and, like you said, the fun they're having, it wouldn't surprise me to see them go all the way. I do hope the U.S. beats them. I think tomorrow is when they play, tomorrow night.
It's tonight, baby.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's tonight, baby. And we got Paul Skeens.
Oh yeah, wait, today's Sunday. Sorry, I forgot I'm off work tomorrow.
We have Paul Skeens pitching, and we got Paul Skeens on the bump, and he's facing the lineup is like 4 for 31 against him. Don't quote me on that, but they have like, I know 4 hits total, and 3 of them are from one player. I forgot who it is. But I think we saved the right pitcher for the right game. So I do think we'll make it. But the amount I just can't believe Italy is still in this thing. Like, this is crazy to me.
Watch them win the whole thing.
It's crazy.
But they're gonna win a whole pot of gabagool. They're gonna win a whole pot of gabagool when they win the whole thing.
Well, it's hard to win against a team that has an espresso machine in their dugout, dude. You know,
dude, that's so true. It's, hey, Tony, give me the gabagool.
Yeah.
But what's kind of funny about this is, like, sorry, Alex, I don't mean to cut you off, but this kind of reminds me of like the World Cup, the Soccer World Cup from 2012. I remember there was like a worldwide phenomenon. Not saying that it's not big or anything like normally, but I just felt like in 2012, I remember like watching a bunch of sporting events and people just bringing up, oh yeah, I'm going to be tuning into the World Cup tonight. Like, it kind of reminds me this year of that. It's kind of become like a pretty big phenomenon, but I think that's really good for baseball.
Yeah, it's huge, man. It's huge. The only thing I'm going to say left is, I've got a good bet for everybody. It's like a plus 380. It's Aaron Judge for a home run and for the USA to win. Luis Severino is pitching. He used to be teammates with Judge. Judge is going to hit one 450. And the USA is going to win. So take that to the bank.
Well, for anyone watching this, like, Alex has been, not that normally he's not, but like within the past week or two, he has been super hot on his bet, especially with the NBA. Like, he's been calling NBA game parlays like you wouldn't believe.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, there's been 2 other tickets that I've hit that I haven't sent you guys because I know everyone's just getting pissed at this point. I'm up $1,600 the last 4 days.
I'm not mad about it. I'm mad that you haven't sent us the picks. That's why
I've noticed the trend. Yeah, last night was the night I didn't send 2, but I've noticed the trend. If I don't send them, it hits, but then I have to send it in to brag that I hit, and then I have to get yelled at by you guys for not sending it, and then I have to do it all over again.
So because he needs us, Troy, I think we should get a cut.
You know what? If I get to a certain, okay, that's a good. I like that. I do. So maybe we can start working something out. You know.
Well, that
That's-
worked. I don't know how that worked, but
Where you
somehow
going?
did.
What's up?
Somehow worked.
But yeah, Jake, I know you guys wanted to get into a little bit more in depth on the pitching situation, or I'm sorry, the MLB situation as far as the new rule change. Alex was definitely wanting to talk about that.
You mean challenging balls and strikes with the ABS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can hit on it for like a minute, like, cause I know we kind of hit on it last week, but I know I was thinking about it more, and I realized that I'm gonna make a lot of money because I got screwed last year, and so don't worry, more money's coming to you guys for your cut for strikeout parlays. Okay, so this is gonna be a great thing. Scooble did one the other day. That the catcher he called it. He was like, "Oh, I want to challenge that," and the catcher started shaking his head like, "Don't, dude!" It was like an inch hit the plate, and it was strike 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think pitchers. I think you can see a lot of pitchers having a lot more success this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of it. I think the ability to challenge balls and strikes. I mean, the NFL is the first to introduce the replays than the NBA. It's worked well for both leagues. I mean, you could argue they should honestly give more replay capabilities in the NFL when it comes to pass interferences. You could argue that they should do more when it comes to the NBA. So I like that they're adding this. I know that there's the argument that it slows down the game, but if it trues up, I like the improvements they've done to speed it up, to be honest. I didn't necessarily like all of them at first, but if you speed up the game and then you can, true up how the game should actually be as far as the score goes, I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, no, I agree, Jake. I'm fine with the game slowing down a teeny bit, not like turtle speed, but slowing it down a little bit if it trues up and shores up the game. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been really good so far. Minor leagues has implemented it. It's been great in spring training so far, so I'm excited for it.
Cool. Yeah, me too.
But I just wanted to glance over that. So whatever the next topic is.
Yeah, no, I know we definitely want to talk about the NFL free agency debacle here with the Maxx Crosby trade to the Ravens, how that ended up getting canceled at the last minute. You end up having Trey Hendrickson signed, the domino effect of that. Whoa, that was some bad feedback there.
Sounded like a plane. Not sure. But yeah, I mean, the Maxx Crosby, I mean, what do you want to call it? A vetoed trade or a failed physical non-trade like that?
No, I think we should call it is absolute bullshit. I think, and look, as a Raiders fan, I'm happy to have Crosby back, but no one expected him to pass a physical. He just had fucking knee surgery. They knew he wasn't going to pass the physical. What I think happened is they made the trade. They knew he wasn't going to pass the physical. They started the Raiders instantly grabbed Tyler Linderbaum, their center. That probably pissed them off a little bit because they weren't going to outbid us. Then they lose Isaiah Likely to the Giants, Harbaugh. They lose their backup running back, who's actually really good, and obviously Henry's getting older. They lost like 6 starters, and I think they started to freak out a little bit. Like, wow, we gave up 2 first-rounders, and we lost all these players. But Hendrickson is still a free agent. He'll take $10 million less, and we get our first 2 picks back.
You know what's also funny about this, Alex? And Jake is like, dude, the morning after we woke up and we saw Hendrickson sign with Baltimore, not too long after the signing got announced, Hendrickson said, Baltimore's front office told me that they wanted to pair me with Maxx Crosby. I was like,
I call bullshit.
I was like, bro, the PR for Baltimore is absolutely just blowing smoke up your ass, bro. Like, that is not what happened. Like, it's exactly what you said. What happened is they traded for Crosby, and even if they didn't know about the physical, if he was going to pass or not pass, they traded for Crosby. At that night, talked to Hendrickson and said, "Oh, we have a deal," because Hendrickson was looking for $30 million a year, which is what Maxx Crosby's making right around there. They gave him that money, which no other team was giving to him, besides maybe the Colts. I'm not sure, Jake. You could sure that up for me. And so when he got the $30 million, they're like, "Oh, we actually don't need to trade for Crosby." So then they made up some crap about his physical, whether it's true or not. It's still a stupid situation. And I mean, I never really understood the Crosby trade to begin with for Baltimore. I know Jay kind of liked it because it gave them like another element to rely on outside of just Lamar always doing everything for them. But you need weapons. Lamar Jackson needs weapons. It never made sense to me why you traded the 14th overall pick plus another first for Crosby. If you wanted to do some other trade, I kind of understand that, but I still think they need weapons on offense. And it just overall, the trade never made much sense to me.
I can sort of agree on that. I think you have to have great players to win Super Bowls. And I think if you have, and I also think there are certain positions that are far more valuable in the NFL. I think you've got the quarterback position, a wide receiver position, or some type of offensive weapon, whether that's the tight end or whatever. Like left tackle and center are incredibly important. And I think on defense, you need your pass rusher and your lockdown corner. And I think what Baltimore was trying to do, and I think it's great to have a great middle linebacker too. And I think what Baltimore was trying to do was get that pass rusher. Now, unfortunately, they lost their center in doing so, but they did lock up two really great players in two very important positions. Well, I shouldn't say two. I mean, they've had Lamar Jackson, but you know what I was going out there. But I do agree that I think the trade was a little ridiculous. I think they realized that they gave up a lot of assets as far as what the Colts are willing to offer Trey. I mean, I'm pretty pissed off about it. I can't lie because Trey and the Colts, I think it pretty much agreed to like a verbal deal as far as the rumors had gone. I think the Colts are willing to offer somewhere around $28 million a year, and that I'm just going to say it right now. I mean, we don't know for sure if Charvarius Ward or DeForest Buckner are coming back, but if we had Trey Hendrickson and DeForest Buckner along with Letu, who is developing, who was our first round pick 2 years ago, along with Charvarius Ward and Sauce Gardner as our corners with Kenny Moore, that would have been a disgusting defense. I'm not even going to lie. That would have been a top 5 defense in the NFL, in my opinion.
Yep.
And so I'm a little frustrated that it happened because I think we were going to get Trey. So,
I think we can all agree that there was bullshit. There was a lot of bullshit in that on the Ravens end. My question for Jake, especially, just I would say Jake's probably our most knowledgeable on football. How does this affect the Ravens going forward? Do you think this makes players not want to sign with them because they don't know the security of it? Do you think other GMs are going to want to trade with them in the future?
I don't know
how long does that last? Because
I think as long as this GM is here in Baltimore, right? I mean, as long as he's running the operations there, you're gonna have people questioning it because at the end of the day, you agreed to a trade. Now, obviously, I know that Maxx Crosby didn't pass the physical, but Baltimore had to have been under the impression when they first made that trade that, hey, like he's still recovering. He's not going to be in a position to take a physical and pass it right this second. And
this is a repair. This is a repair. He didn't go down on the field.
Right. It's not like he tore an ACL. It's right. We've seen pass rushers come back from a torn ACL and stuff. I mean, he didn't even tear anything. He's just getting some arthroscopic work done.
If you look back at his last couple plays, that dude was flying, dude. It's not like he got injured and then so they knew he just had surgery. He's not to pass your physical, you have to be ready to play right then.
Which to find that out, by the way, does kind of go back when they rested Crosby at the end of the season. It does make a little bit more sense now. They weren't just holding him out to completely tank, even though they were doing that to get Fernando. It was also to preserve the knee.
For sure.
Now, listen, I also will say as far as Baltimore goes, I don't know that it was smart to trade 2 first-round picks while you're losing a Pro Bowl center like that. You know, because you don't underestimate how much that offensive line helped Henry produce, especially at his age as he's getting older, right? So, and the final thing that I would say is I just think that to follow up on what Alex had said there, I don't think it's going to hurt any players from wanting to sign in Baltimore because they were willing to pay Trey the money that he was requesting. So that's going to be an appeasing thing to players. But as far as other GMs go, they're going to be like, hey, man, it's really hard to trust any deals that we work out. So if the Ravens and another team are both offering a very similar package moving forward, it's hard to imagine that those GMs are going to look at the Ravens and say, hey, that's the package we're going to go with. The only chance is if the other team is in the conference or the same division as them or something like that. That would be the only way to deter them. So.
I mean, not just that too, but how much does this decrease the value of Maxx Crosby if you are looking to move him next year, right? I don't know if it does that much, but Yeah,
And
I don't
listen,
think you're
I don't know that you should do that. See, listen, this is what I said in the text message. One of the new things in the NFL, right, is that you're trying to, and this isn't really super new, but with the introduction of the salary cap and all this, teams figured out that one of the ways to go, because quarterbacks take up such a large percentage of that cap, is if you can draft one that is really good. That means in year 2 and 3, after they've developed that first season, you have a real window to go for a Super Bowl, right? We saw that with Russell Wilson. We've seen that a number of times. Now, it doesn't always pan out. We saw it with Jared Goff and the Rams, but it does mean you've got the ability to invest in that team. And so I like exactly what the Raiders have done. They have really great, we just talked about, you have to have really great players at key positions to be able to win a Super Bowl. They lock down the center. They've got the pass rusher. They've got themselves a stud tight end. They've got a great running back. And they're going to
Well,
draft
actually,
number one guy coming out of this draft, who I'm a big fan of because he was an IU guy.
they have the best linebacker core right now too. Now after the free agency,
I mean, like, yeah, no, they
You
have
gotta see it on
they made
field,
some
but yeah.
real improvements, but like kind of to hit on what Jake said is I have noticed sort of a different trend in NFL free agency recently, and it definitely has to do with linebackers. And I think I tuned in really closely on that situation because I'm a Rams fan, and the Rams historically never draft linebackers. They don't really hold linebackers to a high standard, but what I saw in free agency was teams signing linebackers to not that big of deals, and honestly, the deals were pretty close to what first-round rookie linebackers make, and it kinda made me think about it, and I was just like, "So why draft a linebacker in the first round if maybe you can wait a few seasons and just sign one of the best linebackers on the market for around the same deal as a first-round rookie, and you don't have to wait for that rookie to possibly develop?" So I think that
they're
is
plug and play. They're plug and play.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the backer too, right? Like if you're
I was about to
talking
say
more of a
yes,
run
Jake.
game backer,
Yeah.
I think they're a little bit easier to develop as opposed to those because there's a lot of really, not to say that either one is easy, but there's a lot of really complex passing schemes that these offensive coordinators are coming up with now, that as linebackers, if you just read it wrong for one step, you're going to have a quick little slot receiver blowing right back past you, or a quick back out the outfield doing an angle route or something like that, and you're going to get eaten alive. So
Yeah, I
I
do
agree
think
with you,
it's
Troy.
also a quality over quantity thing too, right? It's like in the first round, if you've got a chance to draft a linebacker like Sonny Styles, it's like, okay, well, he's supposed to be like I saw him at the combine, he was just doing superhuman things on the field, and I was just like, okay, this might be a guy that you still would want to take early in the draft if you can, but I just overall saying that I have noticed sort of a different trend as far as linebackers.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I mean, there is one other thing actually I wanted to just touch on really quick. I forgot to do this for baseball, but since we were talking about the procedure that Max Crosby had done, I just want to speak on. I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan, right? I root for Indiana teams, Indiana and Arizona. As more podcast episodes go on, you'll continue to probably learn all of our favorite teams that we root for. I need to because of how bad my teams suck, so I root for Arizona and Indy. Um, but Hunter Green is going to be spending the first half of this season on the IL. He's got to get a little arthroscopic work done in his elbow. Fortunately, the UCL came back clean, so it's nothing Tommy John related. But he's got to get some stuff done, and I'm a little frustrated because, in my opinion, this should have happened back in November. Now he came out with an explanation as to why he didn't get that procedure done. He didn't feel any pain. The doctor told him he was all right. He didn't feel any pain at the start of spring training, but as he ramped up, he started to feel it a little bit to where he couldn't complete his throws. But I'm a little frustrated that he didn't get this done at the end of last season. He got a different opinion from a different doctor. Interestingly enough, I was watching some, commentary back and forth on Twitter about it. Zach Cozart, who's a former Reds player, shortstop, said, he's actually gotten surgery by both of the doctors that Hunter Green's gotten an opinion from. And he said that the doctor that he just got an opinion from is a far better doctor. So it's frustrating that he didn't go to him in the first place. It makes me question the medical staff over there in Cincinnati. And it's really disappointing because, the Reds over the last 5 or 6 years, one year they'll have really great hitting and their pitching depth and rotation is not that good. And then the next year they've got a great rotation and you're expecting the hitting to show up and it's not there. And really, this spring training, Matt McClain, I mean, their roster's coming together right now. I know it's spring training, but their offense was looking great. And knowing what their rotation was, you were hoping that the Reds had a chance to win the division, make a splash. And they still do, right? I mean, Hunter Green's missing half the year. He's going to miss 12 or 13 starts, right? But hopefully he can come back midseason with a fresh arm. And that way, if we can make the postseason, his arm's a little bit more fresh entering the postseason than other pitchers that have made, 30 or some odd starts. But I don't know
Always
if you
get
guys have
three.
a take on that.
Always get 3 opinions. That's the only thing I can say.
Yeah.
Unless you just have one trusted doctor that you use your whole career, but you got all the money you need. You got all the doctors that are readily available. Get 3 opinions.
Unless you're like me, that you'll go to a hole in the wall physician at some weird place and just get it done because you don't want to wait any longer.
Yeah. Well,
but
well, you're not a professional athlete though, so
that's why I walk with a gimp anyway. So
yeah. Well, there's other reasons for that too, but we're not going to talk about that on the pod.
Oh, we can though. We can. I'm fine with it. Let's do it. No, all right, fine.
We're not talking about your girth here, okay?
Not on episode 2, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
You
break them in. We got to get them in.
You guys ever heard of foreplay?
We are breaking them in with this. We're showing them the type of guys that we are, the type of friends that we are.
Episode 2, Troy? Come on.
I don't know. I don't think it's a problem, but anyway, moving on.
Anyways, we'll just quickly kind of touch on this and then we'll move on. No worries if no one has any takes on this. I know I follow this a little more closely, but we do have March Madness coming up here. We've got the end of the conference tournaments coming up here, the finals this weekend. So we should have the picks. The pick selector, I believe, is either tonight or tomorrow. Yeah, I believe the picks come out today for the March Madness tournament. So we'll each fill out a bracket. We'll give you those picks here. We'll post them later. But we've got that coming out. Early predictions, I'm just going to throw it out there. They is a disgusting team. They look great, and so does Duke. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see either one of them win. But
yeah, I'm going to let you guys jump on this topic for 1 minute. My son just ran in and told me he's shit, and it smells like a bomb went off. So I'm going to grab my laptop charger really quick, too.
All right, you go.
Okay. All right, you guys keep going.
You go take care of that.
Yeah, I mean, March Madness is always one of the more fun times a year for sports, for a sports fan in general. And I also think it's a great way to build stock, especially for NBA's prospects, and it's like, not saying that if a guy underperforms in March Madness that it's going to deplete his stock. It's not. If you're already a high draft pick in December or January, I don't think March Madness is really depletes your stock by a whole lot. Like, I think we all kind of know at this point what the top 4 picks are going to be. So I am curious to see what some of those guys do. And it's like you said, you're thinking Duke as a good favorite here. I'm very curious to see what Cameron Boozer does. Cameron Boozer is going to be he is going to be a top 4 pick, along with Adrian Debansa, Darren Peterson, and then Caleb Wilson. So I'm very curious to see what these guys do.
So who do you think goes first? Debansa or
I think it's between Debansa and Peterson. I wouldn't be surprised if someone picked Peterson. He's more of a combo guard, but based on some of the information I've been looking at and film I've been studying, I don't know if Peterson exactly gives you wins, if that makes sense. I feel like he's more of like I'm going to get you a bunch of points, but it's not going to lead to much winning. I could be very wrong here, but that's kind of the impression I get. I feel like AJ Debansa and actually Caleb Wilson are the 2 that have the highest ceilings because, I mean, I've said so many times that I think elite wings is what wins you championships at the end of the day. What
about you got Boozer and then Flemings too, right? I mean, so there's like 5 solid play. And to your point, I don't necessarily think anyone's stock in that top 4 is going down. I think within the top 4, there could be some fluctuations depending on how they play in the March Madness bracket, because you could see them step up for big time moments. And that could be something you value as a franchise is, hey, they're showing up in a clutch moment. That does matter in basketball at a high level when you're talking about really great players, right? If you're talking about players drafted in the second round, obviously you're not expecting them to be clutch players necessarily. But when you're talking about first top 3 to 5 draft picks, if they can be clutch as well as great, that's something you're looking for. And I think that the picks probably 10 through 30, that's where you're going to see a lot of movement based on how there is, performances in the March Madness bracket. So
Yeah, I mean, and the cool thing too is I think we've seen a lot lately in the NBA with like later first round picks and even second round picks of starting to make actual impacts in the NBA. I know for a lot of the time it was like, oh, usually if you only get like a top 10, maybe 15 pick is the picks that really matter. And obviously picks below that, I mean, higher than that are obviously could be generational. But I think we've seen lately with a lot of picks in the NBA, like they have been making some sort of impact, whether it be a late first round or a second round pick. So yeah, I definitely think your point as far as stocks can go up or down 10 through 30 does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm liking, just quickly we can jump on it while we wait for Alex. But you talk about those second round picks and those later first round picks and the impact that they're making. I mean, as a Pacers and Suns fan, I'm loving this team that the Suns have put together right now. Had an unfortunate game against Toronto the other day that we lost, but you know, is what it is. There, we've been playing pretty well as of late. I think we're gonna make the playoffs. Whether it's through the play-in or whether we, get a top 6 seed, I still think we end up making it in as one of the 8 teams that makes the playoffs. So, but we've got guys like Osa Gadaro, Jordan Goodwin, guys like that are making an impact, and it's been pretty cool to see that. Just, you know.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the Warriors don't make it, I'm fine. So
Okay, fuck one, kill
Yeah.
one, marry one.
Wow, it just comes back in hot.
we're
Hulk
gonna
Hogan?
save that. No,
That's
let's save this for the end of the pod while we're
yeah, like he just
talking.
wants to. We're about to talk
I
about
was
what a
just
great time of
thinking
year
about
this
it.
is.
I was just
Man,
thinking about it. So whatever, dude. Whatever.
I know. I really
that's
want to
that's an
talk about
interesting
it.
thing to think about after cleaning up your son's shit. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Anything but thinking about the poo that's in front of you.
I guess so. But
Yes.
we just wrapped up some March Madness and kind of pre NBA draft talk there, Alex, just to let you know. But one thing I just want to touch on real quick, Troy, we talked about this the other day in like a side conversation, but I do think the two best times of year for sports are right now, like that end of March, early April, like that 30
Oh,
days. If you were to go like
I know where you're
March
going with
5th
this.
to April 15th, that area, and then you were going to go October. Those are the two best times of year because right now in March, you've got the NBA wrapping up at the end of the season. Teams are fighting for seeding, right? Teams are tanking. Troy hates talking about that, so we won't. Obviously, you've got baseball starting. Right now, you have the World Baseball Classic, which is an added plus, what we all love. You've got the Masters coming up for golf, right? You're having the Players right now, the Players Championship, which a lot of people consider the fifth Open, right? Um, you got Formula One was just here in Phoenix. I mean, you just got all kinds of sports going on right now. You got hockey. So to me, this time of year, and then in October when NBA is starting up, you got NFL hitting this season, baseball's postseason. I mean, to me, those are the two best times for sports. So
To hit on that too, live show. NFL draft next month. This is going to be our first live show that we're doing in person. We're going to try to do this in person. So stay tuned for that. I can't wait for the NFL draft, man. Can't wait.
Fernando.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, well, it's gonna be annoying listening to him all day after that first. That's what's annoying is they're the first pick, so he's just gonna be excited all day after that. Like he
Yeah.
already knows
Well,
what his
I was
team's
just
gonna do. So
no, I was really excited to think we had a 14th pick too, but
well, but now you saw Max Crosby, so
that's fair.
the
Yeah.
likelihood that pick ends up better than Crosby, I don't know.
Yeah.
I say that and watch. This will be one of the dumbest takes ever. That'll be like a generational Aaron Donald talent that comes out at pick 14. So
Yeah, right.
but
I mean,
right, and then this will get clipped. But hey, anything if it goes viral for us, right? I'll be the idiot that gets our clips going viral if it does one day.
I mean,
yeah.
you're
Jake,
used to being
and
an
honestly,
idiot.
dude,
It's true.
I don't care if I come off as idiotic. I'm not over here acting like an expert. No one's an expert in anything in life. I don't
Right.
care what you are.
That's why we're the fucking buffoons.
Like, if I say something stupid and people want to hear more stupid things, dude, I'll do it. Think of me whatever you want, man. I don't give a shit. I don't.
Yep. I mean,
Yeah,
listen.
we've done far more
if you're
embarrassing. We've done far more embarrassing
well, I was
things
gonna say
than
we're
be
smart,
wrong
we're
on a
hardworking
podcast.
dudes. We just yeah, and listen, we're smart, we work hard, we're successful. But by no means are we experts on anything, right? So we're just here to give our takes as buffoons. But
I mean,
interestingly
you
enough,
are an expert. You're an
a
expert
lot of
on a few
buffoons get it
things,
better than
but
experts. Well,
yeah.
okay, not when it comes to what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's weird is these buffoons oftentimes get it right better than the experts. Whether it's beating Vegas's odds and winning in sports, right? We do our big ball bets here, especially for baseball season, Alex and I. Whether it's predicting in NFL drafts or NBA drafts. I mean, Alex and I have consistently talked about certain drafts going back to, I think one of the earlier ones that I called Alex was the Derek Carr draft.
Yep.
I kept saying I want the Cardinals to draft him in the second round. This is a long time ago, and his team got him. I've seen Troy make a number of NBA picks early, and let's not even go into politics or world events and thinking that those folks are. They're either useful idiots or intentional
They're either
scumbags.
useful idiots or idiots.
No, they're either corrupt scumbags or useful idiots. There's really nowhere in between, right? But anyway, it's a total different. But somehow these buffoons can make ideas make more sense than a lot of government officials and world leaders and bankers. So that's why you hear from the fucking buffoons. But all right, let's move on. So as we were talking about NBA and the draft and everything after March Madness, is there anything we want to talk about for the playoffs down the stretch? I know the West right now, the number 3 to 7 seed is decided by I think a game and a half or 2 games as of today. So it's getting tight.
Yeah, well, I sent the picture message last night to you guys, and the teams 3 through 7 were all, 3 through 6 were all decided based on a half a game. So, and then it was the 3 and 4
Wow.
seed were a half game, and then the 5 and the 6 seed were by 1 game. And then after last night's game of Denver and the Lakers actually got the tiebreaker over Denver because they have more wins against Denver this year. And as I'm talking about this, okay, let me just bring up this little piece of paper that I like to call stats and numbers. I'm kind of a big numbers guy. I do know that numbers can be misleading, but I have a little statistic here that I'd like to point out to everybody here. Okay. So when the Lakers were getting destroyed by the Nuggets starting in 2023, the Lakers were just not capable of beating Denver in the regular season and the playoffs. It didn't really matter. They just had their number. The Lakers from January 2023 to February 2025 had a record of 1-13 versus the Nuggets. Okay? 1-13. And then you say, well, Troy, what happened in February of 2025 for the Lakers and the entire NBA world? Luka Doncic got traded there. Huh. So then your record as of February 2025 to March 2026, when Luka Doncic plays, the Lakers are 4-1 versus the Nuggets. Now, I bring this up because I watched last night's game and I thought to myself, Troy, that's kind of a lying statistic because whenever you add a generational talent to your team, you're probably going to be a little better, right? Yes, I understand that, but I think it's for a few things. The first, Nuggets have been sliding a little bit. That's why they were the 3rd seed for a long time. Jokic went down with a bad injury. Peyton Watson really stepped up and became people were talking about, damn, this guy's going to be an elite wing. He's going to get paid this offseason. Jokic comes back. Peyton Watson goes down. Jokic hasn't looked Jokic-esque since he's come back. He's looked a little more fragile, I think. Maybe fragile is the wrong word, but hasn't been Jokic-esque like we've seen. Granted, he literally took over the game in the 3rd quarter, and the Lakers could not deal with him at all. This guy was getting double teamed on the shoulder. He was flipping passes over his head to the guy in the corner, and the guy in the corner would knock down threes. Jokic was just bodying Ayton. And
well, I know, yeah, he had 6 assists and 5 rebounds.
Dude, Jokic had 6 steals in the game for a center.
Yeah, he's a monster, dude. He's a monster.
And so I just kind of look at the Lakers, right? And from that game last night, the Lakers moved into the 3 seed, by the way, because they have the tiebreaker over the Nuggets now. The MVP of that game was Marcus Smart. Okay.
Yep.
Every team needs that Draymond Green type of guy. Let me read you some of Marcus Smart's stat lines from last night, and then we'll kind of go into just the things that you don't see on the stat sheet. 21 points, 5 steals, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 3-pointers made. Then the timely steal late in the fourth quarter on Aaron Gordon, which led to a layup. He was taking charges. He was playing elite one-on-one defense. If this guy does not get paid by the Lakers in the offseason, I told you guys how I felt about Rob Pelinka, their GM already. This guy needs to get paid in the offseason. He is their most important player. And then, I kind of like what the Lakers have done with LeBron since he's come back. I think he's kind of been more like a secondary playmaker for them. And I feel like Reeves and Luka have just been the primary ball handlers and scorers for that team. And LeBron just kind of does like the extra things that you need him to do because he's the third option at this point. Like he's not able to do what Luka and Reeves do at this point. Like he's a 41-year-old man compared to a mid-20s players, Like he's just.
I was going to say yesterday was a sign of that's how the Lakers need to play. It needs to be the Austin Reeves and Luka show.
Do you
and
still
then
think
LeBron just needs to do his facilitating? He played great yesterday. And Troy, it also helps that they have 2 of the top 7 3-point percentage shooters in the league. Hachimura is shooting almost 44%, and now Kennard is shooting 48%. So I've said it since the very beginning. Lakers could get bounced first round, or they could be one of these teams that it's almost like the what was it, 2011 Mavs? Was that the Mavs year?
Or I mean, or the 21
like
Suns
no
that
one,
made a run. No one is
when like no
expecting
one
the Suns.
expected them to really. It's sometimes it's just who gets hot at the right moment, right? And I've said it all year. If these guys are hitting their threes on the Lakers, they can beat anybody. Will they beat a team for 7 games? 7-game series? Probably not. But if they can catch fire, they can beat anybody.
Do you think they can beat the Spurs or the Thunder?
Like I said, they would have to be shooting.
Because more than likely, with their seeding, you'd have to beat both of them to make it to the final.
They'd have to be shooting 45+% from the 3 and be shooting 33s a game. But I'm just saying, 43s a game. But it could happen. Like
I mean, it's a shooting league. It's a shooting league now, right? So if you're just hot while another team isn't.
Yesterday was actually not the best shooting performance from Luka. But he did have a triple-double, and he
a 30-point triple-double.
No, he did, but he shot 10 for 26.
Right,
the night before that, he shot 17 for 31.
Against the Bulls, but
correct. But my point is when he's, I mean, I'm be honest. Like when Luka's on, I don't care who they're playing. I don't care who's guarding him. Like he'll make 7 threes. I'm just saying, I think they can beat anyone on any given night if they're on fire. Like, whereas I know that sounds stupid, but I don't think the Wizards are going to beat every team if they're on fire, or the Bulls, or like the teams that are just absolute trash cans right now. I don't think they have that potential, even if they are on fire. But I think the Lakers do have the firepower. They really do.
Speaking of teams that are trash cans, we have
the Pacers.
Well, they're tanking.
They lost to the Wizards in back-to-back nights this year.
Well, that's exactly who we were about to talk about. Is the Washington Wizards, who gave up 83 points
to the greatest player in our generation,
to Bam Adebayo, who is now the number 2 leading scorer of all time behind Wilt Chamberlain, past Kobe Bryant's 81 points. And before we get into it, before we start talking about anything related to that, I just want to show just a clip of kind of what we're talking about. Now, this is a player that already had 60+ points at this point, and I just want to show you the way that the Washington Wizards are playing this guy. And it blows my mind here. So,
bro, they had money. They had money on that shit.
and the fact that he's intentionally going for this, he's not playing a way that a center should be playing. But you see him go right over here. And
I will say, Bam.
It's taking a second to load here, but
I will say Bam was yelling at his teammates not to foul in the late 4th, and they still were. Not that it matters. Personally, I think this record's absolute bullshit. Like, I think this is the weakest shit I've ever seen in sports, dude.
It's true. And you really don't have to look any further than just how wide open he was there. I mean, it looks like it's having an issue rendered in the video. But I mean, you just see how wide open he was, right? So
it's embarrassing. It's honestly embarrassing for the product. It's embarrassing for the league. It was like a participation trophy that ended up being a record. It was
43
like so dumb.
43 free throw attempts. I mean, that's insane to me. The fact that they're fouling at the end to stop the clock. I'm sorry. I would have at least liked to see. I know some would argue that this is different. Listen, Was Devin Booker taking bad shots when Devin Booker put up 70 points? Sure. Did he break a number 2 record? No, he didn't. And was he actually down in the game against Boston? Yeah. Now listen, if the Heat are down to the Wizards, I'd feel maybe a little bit different about this. But when you're up 25 points with 4 minutes to go and keeping your center out there and he's taking 3-pointers and they're intentionally fouling him and he's getting to the line 43 times, I don't know. To me, obviously he's the number 2 scorer of all time. Congrats to him. I'm not saying I wouldn't have done it if I was in that position. I would have loved to have made history if I was in his, you know what I mean? Like, I can't blame the guy himself, but it makes me wonder what we just saw in the NBA. I think what we just saw the final 5 minutes of that game is a true disgrace to the product of the NBA, and it goes back to what I've said for a long time. I actually think basketball could be my second or third favorite sport. I don't know exactly where it is behind football and baseball, but to me, the product that the NBA is putting out there over the last 10 seasons is the worst product of any major league sports um professional sports organization.
I'm gonna be honest, Jake.
There's no deep.
I'm gonna disagree on one thing you said, and it's that you can't blame Bam. But personally, I do blame him. If I was in that situation, and I think I would have stopped at 80. I think I would have pulled myself. I think I would have pulled myself at 80.
Alex, just
If
a
you're
heads
not
up.
earning it,
Just a heads up,
yeah.
Alex. Sorry to cut you off. Bam actually wanted to come out, but when he was at 80 or 81, but Spoelstra kept him in.
Yeah, because I
mean,
texted during that moment. I was like, well, at least they're pulling him out because the announcers said it. I remember them all saying it. So I was a little confused when he ended up breaking it because I turned it off for a second. And
yeah,
then
but
was
none of
confused.
those guys are players. They're not NBA players. If I'm the player, I'm pulling myself out. Like I'm not gonna degrade the game because my coach wants to or anyone else. I'm a full grown ass man, and I understand that I'm about to pass someone's record in a way that's not deserved, in my opinion. Like that's just how
Okay.
I look at it. I'm very competitive, and I don't know if I got that many points against him that I would have been able to sleep going, I actually did it. You know, it
Okay.
almost feels like a half-ass a reward.
Yeah, so okay. I'm going to pull the curtain back on this for a second, okay?
Pull it,
And
baby.
I'm going to ask the Lakers fan in the room here a question. That's Alex. In what world would it be acceptable for anybody to pass Kobe Bryant's 81-point game?
Just doing it the right way, honestly. I mean, like I think Jake hit the nail on the head. It's just the way it almost seems like it was given to him, right? Like he didn't earn it. Like it was just like, okay, we're just gonna keep putting you on the foul line until you break this. I also think it would have helped Troy if it was a bigger name player, maybe. If it was, and I think Bam's a great player, by the way. Like I'm
Well, how
not
many
trying to
times
take
is
anything.
really quick? How many times has Bam ever put up 50 points?
That's kind of what I'm getting towards. It was like given to him in a sense. Now, if like SGA or Wemby or Jokic or like even Luka,
What if
like I
LeBron
said,
passed it? What if LeBron passed it?
oh, I would throw up.
Exactly.
But
Okay.
but
That,
that's one player though. But like
but that's
honestly,
my
I don't. But Troy, to be honest, I don't have a problem if LeBron broke it if he did it the right way. Like I don't. I don't.
okay. So
I mean, Bam's prior, really quick, sorry, try not to cut you off. I just want to say this. Bam's highest ever game scoring was 41 points.
okay.
That was the only time he had ever broken 40. Was
So
one
here's the
other time.
thing about this is I will say, if you have the chance to break a record, do it. Secondly, I understand this is probably a product of the NBA itself and the tanking issue, which I will not talk about. That being said, we look back at the 2006 game Kobe Bryant had against the Toronto Raptors, where he had 81 points. I could pull up some clips if you want. We can point out the same things we just pointed out in the clip, that they weren't playing any defense. The Wizards weren't playing any defense on Bam Adebayo. Okay. People will say, oh, Troy, Kobe Bryant only shot 20-something free throws, which is half of what Bam Adebayo shot. Sure, you got me there. Toronto was ranked 29th in defense that year. Okay. Second worst in the league. They also, back then, had a 112.7 defensive rating and allowed 104 points per game, which would have been tied for second worst defense in the entire league for the entire season. Okay. This year, the Wizards are allowing 121.7 points per game, which is last in the league. We can attribute that to play style, 3-point shooting, the game's change. My point being here is it's not like the Raptors had an elite defense back when Kobe scored 81 too. Okay? Now, I know people will say, well, Troy, At least they were trying back then. The Raptors finished with a 27-55 record. Okay, they had one of the worst records in the league that year. So
That's fair, but
I'm not trying to take
3
anything away from Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is one of the top 5 greatest players of all time. God rest his soul. My point here is people are saying, well, it's fake, it's BS. I think it's attributed to Kobe's legacy, and they're not actually mad about the NBA situation. That's what I really think it is.
Well, in my opinion, and I do agree with you, Toronto was terrible, but 2.5 weeks prior, he dropped 62 in 3 quarters and only 3. He didn't play the whole fourth against the Mavericks, who were ranked like 10th that year in defense. So we're talking about a player that could easily score 60 plus against a top 10 defense compared to Bam, who scored 40 points one time in his fucking life.
I guess. I like I'm saying, I think.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong, dude. Don't talk about Kobe like that, dude.
I'm not surprised you say. I do think Laker fans guard Kobe's legacy like he's a god.
Dude,
to be honest,
dude, I think people that aren't even fans of the Lakers now are guard Kobe. To be honest with you, like I think NBA fans guard Kobe.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest though. It's gonna take you're gonna have to play against a bad defense to put up 81 points. We're all expecting that, or 60 or 70. Like you're gonna have to play against a bad defense, or you're gonna have to have a terrible offense that's super inefficient, or you're just throwing the game on purpose, right? Like something like that is going to have to happen in order for you to be able to do something. I think the issue we have is it looked like intentional fouling, both on offense and defense. It looked like they were leaving him wide open for 3-pointers for a center that doesn't hit, 25% from threes. And it's like, well, you're leaving him wide open. If you just go put a hand in his face, there's a high probability that he misses that. And no one's even trying to do that. I mean, those are the things that I think people had a real issue with towards the end of the game. And I don't think that's the way that they were playing Kobe Bryant. They were double teaming Kobe Bryant at the end. And I know that there was 1 or 2 plays at the end of that game where you could say they were double teaming Bam, but there was also plenty of they were double teaming him and then fouling him. So it's kind of like, come on, what are you doing here? So I don't know. I don't know that we have to spend a ton of time on that, but to me, it's a little bit tainted. It goes back to the fact that the NBA doesn't play a whole lot of defense, and it's real disappointing. I wish we could get back to a place where there's hard defense in the NBA.
I disagree, Jake. I think the worst teams don't play defense because they're tanking. I think the best teams do play defense.
But even the quality of the defense that's played now because of the rules is, I don't know. I don't love it. And
I mean, Jake, I've rewatched late 90s NBA finals, and the defense that they were playing was not as physical as people like to think it is.
That's fair, Troy, and I would agree that it's not necessarily that era, because I think the era that I'm talking about is, because listen, I was growing up in the 90s, but like I was like 6 in 99 when the Bulls won their, you know what I mean, like, or 98 when they won their, I was like 5 years old. So I don't really remember the 6th championship of the Bulls. I remember those 2000 to 2010 era. And that, to me, that era was Kevin Garnett. I mean, Kobe Bryant. That's what that era was to me. And that defense was just different, in my opinion. I don't know. They seemed to play harder. They seemed to play more. I'm not even necessarily saying physical, but I think the rule changes.
It was more they were more intimidating too.
Well, I mean, let's be honest for a second. Like, let's compare leagues then. It's like, okay, I think a lot of people even complain about the NFL, how much they've incorporated rules into protecting the quarterback. Just look at some of the BS calls Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes have historically got. Okay, totally, but then you look at the NBA, like post Pistons championship from 2004, they changed the rules to make it mostly offensive based. It's offensive player based. It's like, I get it. They thought that this is what makes the players and the teams more exciting, which I agree with. And I think that is just an issue in the NBA overall. Is because there's so many games, you're not going to get elite defense for 82 games. You're going to get elite defense come the end of the season and start of the playoffs for most of the teams. So I do think it's just an issue with the NBA. But when we start to compare eras, I'm just like, apples and oranges for me, honestly.
I just hate that the mid-range is basically considered a bad shot now, and that you really don't see many players attacking the basket as much as you used to. You do, but not like you used to.
I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Kawhi Leonard are strictly mid-range jump shooters, and they're top 5 to 7 best players in the league, and Shai's about to win a second MVP.
I agree. And listen, I actually like Shai's game. I just wish there wasn't as much foul hunting. He's great at doing it, and here's the thing. You get rid of the foul hunting, he's still an incredible player. right? And so
Yeah.
I wish they would eliminate the ability for these players to be able to yes, it is a skill set, it is a art to be able to get officials to, call a foul or to bait a player into it. But I just wish it wasn't as soft as it was for those fouls. And I agree with the NFL too. I wish you could actually hit quarterbacks. I wish you could still, somewhat touch receivers. I'm not saying you should be able to jump all over them, but they call fouls all the time now. So I don't disagree with you, Troy. I completely agree. The one thing I'll say about the NFL is because you've seen some of it's always interesting how there's almost a meta game in the NFL that changes every 5-ish years. And because it got so pass heavy, all these defensive backs started becoming so good at stopping that little short spread offense game. So now you're seeing the running game become more important again. And I wish sometimes that would happen. It does kind of happen in the NBA, but not to that same degree, right? You're still seeing far more 3-point shooting where I wish I wish there was a team that would come along that was like, hey, no, we're just so dang efficient from mid-range. I wish the Suns had won a few years ago when they were doing that from mid-range. I just wish they'd won in general, but to bring that type of basketball back is what I miss.
Well, yeah. I mean, things change, things
I don't know how you
evolve.
solve it.
Sometimes not for the better. The last thing I'll say before we close this one out, this topic is, I don't agree with a lot of things the Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr says. Usually, mostly none of it. But I will agree with one of the things he said. He said, "I don't blame Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for playing the way he does. I blame the rules." Which,
Well, he just came out the other day, Steve Kerr did, and said he wishes the season was 10 games less.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of a difference that would make. I think if we're really trying to trim, the season's not going to get trimmed down by any games.
No, they shouldn't.
What is that going to do for the ownership? The ownership is not going to say, yeah, we'll lose less money to make the product of the game better. No, owners are going to want to make more money. How do they make more money? By having more games.
Yep. And no records will ever get broken if you shave 10 to 20 games off a season. No records will ever get it's I hate the idea.
Did anyone complain when the NFL added a week extra?
No, they're going to add
we
another
loved
one.
it. We loved it.
We're a couple of years away from them adding an 18th game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. And listen, I love the fact NFL is short, man. The regular season's 4 months, whereas you have MLB and NBA that are 6 months long. I love that. I love that you get a long time of those sports. If there's less NBA, there'd be less sports in general.
That's also one of the reasons why I think we love the NFL so much, is because it's scarce. And, there's not as many games.
Yeah. Well, not only that, they're actually looking at introducing even more games now. They want to do the Wednesday before Thanksgiving now, that Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. They were already doing 3 games on Thanksgiving. They used to do 2. They've got those 2 Black Friday games now. They got a game that Saturday after, and then all the Sunday. They're trying to add more games, and it wouldn't surprise me to at some point see Friday night football. I know Saturday nights are things that they're going to try to preserve for college, but for as long as they can. But it wouldn't shock me to eventually see them doing Wednesday nights or Friday nights too, just to dominate as many nights as they can of the airwaves. It's more money. But
hey, I know we're backtracking a little bit here, which
I mean, we just do it with NFL, so get after it.
I'm okay with. I want to just give one player a little rose, not a bouquet of flowers, but a rose. And that player is DeAndre Ayton. Okay. Now, DeAndre Ayton gets a lot of flack, which is absolutely deserved. He does not have a motor whatsoever, and I think he's kind of a baby. But come fourth quarter, guy played some really nice defense on Jokic, forced a few misses, got some key rebounds, and got a key layup with less than a minute left in the game. So as much flack as DeAndre Ayton gets, I will say he was good for about 1 minute out of the 48 minutes of play. But,
okay.
That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad that you came in with the trolling part of this, because at first I was like, I don't know where you're going with this, because DeAndre Ayton, leave it to the Arizona sports market. Yeah, leave it to the Arizona sports market to get 2 first overall picks, NBA and NFL, and be stuck with DeAndre Ayton and Kyler Murray out of your picks. Now, listen, I'm not actually hating on Kyler Murray all too much. I actually think he's going to do well. He just signed with the Minnesota Vikings. We probably should have touched on that, actually. But he did sign with the Minnesota Vikings. I think he's going to have a better season than people are anticipating right now. That's going to make the Cardinals look kind of like a dumpster organization.
I actually do too. I actually think Kyler's going to have I don't know if he's going to have a resurgence, but I think he's going to have a good year overall. Not saying he's going to be an all-pro player, but I think he's going to have a good year.
I mean, people don't realize over the last like 3 seasons, when Kyler doesn't play, we're like 3-25 without Kyler Murray when he does not play.
Could have
We are not
Luka.
good without him. So, but yeah, we could have had Luka for sure. And it disappoints me because I've said this before. I had a buddy that I worked with. We're no longer buddies, but I mean, he was telling me, he's like, man, we better draft Luka. I'm telling you, he's the best player coming out of the Euro League. And I forget who he was referencing, but he was referencing some other player that was also in the Euro League. And he was like, he's already better than him. And look how many points a game he's averaging as a rookie. And sure enough, Luka ended up dominating.
Yeah, as a heads up, everybody, we just lost Alex. I don't know if his laptop died or whatnot, but yeah, I it takes me back, this whole Luka thing and the Suns takes me back to just loyalty in sports, man. I don't know how many times I've said it. Like, I don't believe in loyalty in sports. Robert Sarver, the past owner of the Phoenix Sun, had a U of A connection with a DeAndre Ayton. And you could say, well, DeAndre Ayton had a great collegiate career, which he did. At the end of the day, though, Luka Doncic was the best player in that draft. They even had their head coach that was the Slovenian head coach of the Slovenia national team who coached Luka Doncic at that time.
Igor
So,
Kokoschkov. Yep, I remember.
yes, it made absolute
no
perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, not to draft him. Yeah, it made no sense not to.
Yeah, I know. And then even to take it a step further, look at the Kings.
And we needed
right?
a point guard at that time too anyways. Yes, we needed a center, but we also needed a point guard.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, yeah, the Kings are also a pathetic excuse of a franchise. I mean, they had Vlade Divac, who historically was taking European players in the draft, and one of the one times he doesn't, he takes Marvin Bagley III
Yeah.
over Luka Doncic, and Bagley has just been a journeyman. So,
Well,
like,
let's remember the Mavericks didn't even draft Luka. If we remember, it was actually
right, it was Atlanta.
the Atlanta Hawks, and they traded him.
Yep.
So, I mean,
it's crazy to think though now is like DeAndre Ayton, Trae Young, and Luka Doncic all not on their teams that they were drafted with 9 years ago. Or I'm sorry, 8 years ago.
That is pretty crazy. Well, all right. I mean, unless Alex has any thoughts there when it comes to Luka Doncic and DeAndre Ayton.
No, fuck off, dude. Hulk Hogan, Ellen DeGeneres, and Rosie O'Donnell.
So that's how we're closing it out. Okay.
Fuck one, kill one, marry one.
Okay. So, I mean, I think this is tough, dude. I think it's marry Hogan. I think it's bang Ellen. I think it's kill Rosie. I think it's got because at least Hogan does some of the things that I also do, which is I like wrestling, I like going to the gym.
So you'd have a good marriage.
I don't know. You up. He'd be like, "Good job, brother."
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much I would feel about holding hands with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
but
he might call you the N-word too.
Yeah, no, I know. It's tough, but I mean, I can't marry Ellen or Rosie. I can't do it. Sorry.
Jake?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's nothing appealing about Rosie O'Donnell. I mean, listen, I don't consider myself gay in the least bit, but I think Hulk Hogan's more attractive than Rosie O'Donnell. I don't know how you could pick her for anything. So I'm not condoning that we murder someone, but yeah, she'd be on the kill list, right? So
yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably have to put a disclaimer up, right? We don't. Thanks, bud. Thanks, Alex. We don't condone actually killing anyone here.
No,
Jake's just trying to stall so he doesn't have to answer who he's in the fucking marry.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm more worried about who I have to fuck, but I mean, because no one said anything about. I think I'm with Troy. I think I'm gonna marry Hogan and God, I'm banging Ellen. All right, well. Can it be young Ellen, 30 years ago?
No, it's got to be current. And hey, at least it has to be current, and at least you'd get backstages to her show all the time, dude.
Just remember what being married is.
Just remember there's anything good about Ellen.
Married is entitled to. You've got to hold Hulk's hand and go to dinner and give him kisses.
Yeah, but listen, I can divorce him, and he's got money, Oh,
but you're marrying him. You're only going to get the money he's making from today on. And after the N-word drop, he ain't getting too much money.
Well, that's because he's not marketing it to the right people. You know, he needs to go find his crowd, right? And then
Oh, and that's what you would help him do as his partner in life.
no. Yeah, this took a bad turn here. But yeah, no, I would definitely divorce him and take whatever money he's earned.
No,
and
there's no
then-
divorce. This is for life.
No, so yeah, I would definitely get like his audience to know, and I'd be like, and so I would attract all the people that like that he said, you know, the N word, and then all the people that don't like it, they'd be aware too, and they'd be on my side, and they'd be like, yeah, he's got to divorce him, and so I'd win in a
No, there's no divorce. Like there's
no,
no.
I'd have to. I just I didn't know he was a racist when I
No,
married him.
no, that's
But-
against the rules. But we get it. You already made your mind up. So, to anyone listening, we have two gay.
You didn't even answer your fucking.
We
who
have
are you-
two
yeah.
gay buffoons here.
You're gonna kill Hogan?
I'm gonna kill Hogan. I'm gonna fuck Rosie.
Nah, dude, they're.
And I'm gonna marry Ellen because
I'm
Ellen's
still
the,
proud of my choice. I don't
Ellen's
care.
the richest. Listen. Ellen's the richest. So when she passes, which will probably be pretty soon without the adrenochrome, it's the shortest lifespan, I think. She's the richest and has the shortest lifespan. And I can go to bed at night knowing that I'm not sleeping next to Hulk Hogan and getting rammed by the Hulk.
Wait, no. No one said you had to get rammed by Hulk.
You're married to him. He can do what he
So?
wants with you.
Do you know how many sexless marriages there are? Come on.
Okay, well, you have to do everything else entailed. You got to cuddle with him. You've got to kiss him.
Gotta
You
play footsie.
You got to hold his hand getting out of the
Who says he's
paparazzi.
into that? Who says the Hulkster's into that?
Imagine all the paparazzi when you jump out of the car and you're holding Hulk's hand. You give him, and he squeezes
right.
your butt.
Listen, man, I'll take that over having to do it with
And what
Rosie.
is he, like 6'6", 300, dude?
Yeah, imagine. Yeah, dude, imagine Rosie though. That's like no.
Well, Rosie, I only have to deal with once. I'll just
I don't want
get
to think about it.
tanked and some Xanax, and let's go, Rosie. Let's go bounce around. And I would talk to her like Trump. I would talk to her like Trump the whole time. Like turn over.
Only Rosie O'Donnell. Well, that might do it for episode 2 of the Buffoons. I think that's a good way to sign off. Appreciate the close there, Alex. It was great.
Yeah, everyone. I hope you have an awful day, and I hope your week starts off terrible tomorrow, guys.
Awesome. All right. That'll do it for the Buffoons episode 2, everybody. We'll catch you next week.